Hello everybody, this is Chaotic Bibliophile, and today I'm here with Dani, say hello,
Hi everybody!
to discuss my possibility pile for Nonfiction November. So you are all by now really familiar with Dani. She's a friend of this show. And we have shows together. We do Nueva Pantalla in Spanish, and we do Book Crumbles, which is coming back really soon, promise. And actually, we are doing a sort of similar thing as this video for Book Crumbles, but for Dani's pile of possibilities for Nonfiction November. So very exciting stuff. Dani, are you familiar with Nonfiction November? And what do you think of it?
Yes, I am familiar with Nonfiction November. I've participated in Nonfiction November for the last 3 years, I want to say. And last year was a very successful Nonfiction November for me because I read only nonfiction for last November's. That is a dream. I had a blast, and I'm planning on doing more or less the same this year. So yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a big fan.
I have to wrap up like 2 things before I can just move purely to nonfiction, but I think I'm going to be able to do that before October ends, and if not, it'll be like within the first 2 days of November, so it's fine either way. And there's like one project for which I will have to read like some fiction, but it's literally like chapters in a book, so it's not like the whole thing, so it doesn't count. It's fine. I will link Olive's announcement and her recommendation / TBR video because it's really fun. Basically, Nonfiction November, we all know this by now, is an initiative to help people pick up more nonfiction, and I also feel like at this point it serves like booktube watchers or other booktubers find out about other people who read nonfiction, which is really cool.
Which is not really that common for booktube anyway, so yeah.
Exactly. It's not compulsory to complete the 4 challenges, but if you do want to, and of course we do want to, you can complete them. And also because they are really fun challenges, they are always one word. There was one year where there were like pairs of words, which I also really liked, but basically just have prompts that are very broad and that you can interpret in a number of ways, which is really fun. So what we're doing today is I'm showing you the 4 books that I am definitely going to read because I need to read them for a challenge or whatever. We're going to see if they fit anything. And if they don't, we'll like just make a mental note and then go through the rest of my possibility pile, discuss it, and try to craft a primary TBR maybe, and like, you know, prioritize or get rid of some options. How does that sound?
Perfect. I love this.
Before we get into it, the 4 words are record, element, border, and secret. Did you watch the recommendations video where Olive talked about the many ways you could interpret this?
Yes, I did, and I'm interpreting those more or less the same as Olive's. I would like to know if you will interpret them any other way, like, you know?
Yeah, I think she covered most of the ideas that I had. Definitely record and element.
Yeah.
I literally thought, oh, I know it could refer to actual chemistry, but I don't have any of the chemistry books here. However, it could also be books that are like in your element. And that's the one that I thought, or out of your element. Yeah. So like, that's what I thought right away. And when she said it, I was like, yeah. But then when she said it could be a book that is made up of different elements, I was like, oh, actually, I hadn't thought about that one.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going with that one, but that was like smart. I really like that one.
Well, if I did that, actually, I could, because I really need to finish Eat Up by Ruby Tandoh because I'm doing this for a project. And it is a collection of essays, and it also has recipes. Yeah, this is all about food, and Ruby Tandoh is like just a great overall person. She was in British Bake Off. I didn't see that because I don't watch British Bake Off, but I also recently got her new cookbook. So I also have Everybody, a book about freedom by Olivia Laing.
Oh,
or Laing.
What is that about?
Laing.
What?
About so freedom, it's basically about bodies, especially. It's about sort of corporality and how bodies are both something very material, but also very symbolic, and can also be very political, and sort of a cultural, philosophical view. Look at bodies and
It sounds
what they
very
mean to us in
interesting.
society.
It sounds
I know,
so
and
interesting.
it really depends on the author, but she's great. I've read one of her books and I loved it. Do you think this could work for any of the challenges?
I'm thinking border, as in,
Maybe.
you know,
Yeah.
but that it's very kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, I need to read it anyways. I feel like this one might be good for borders. It's
Yes, that's for
Volverse
sure.
Palestina by Lina Meruane, which we are both reading because we are... Oh, you've read already, actually.
Yeah, I've read already. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say anything.
That's okay. We are reviewing it for our podcast,
Yeah.
so you can't
Yes.
tell me anything just
We
yet.
do
but
love
we
the
are
author,
discussing it
though.
at length. Yes. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. This is one of her memoirs where she talks about her identity because she is an expat living in the States, but she is also of Palestinian descent. So all different identities. And so I think Borders is really good. Although I have one book that I don't know if I'll get to, we'll see, that is like so perfect for Borders. So, and finally, A Field Guide to Getting Lost by Rebecca Solnit. This we are also reading for Pluma Pantalla, and it's also the low-key overdue book club book of the month. This is what it says on the tin. Memoir meets cultural criticism, sort of reflections, philosophy. I can't wait. Rebecca Solnit is great. Let's get into the rest of the books. I'm so excited about this one, and I think this one might be good for secret.
Okay. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, that's perfect for secret. Like, yes.
I've been wanting to read this since I found out that it was coming out, basically, because, again, celebrity memoirs, we are a bit iffy, but I did enjoy Billie Jean King's one, and I also really enjoyed Michelle Sonner's. And in this case, like, I don't even care if Jenette McCurdy is not a good writer, although apparently she is. Like, she's always been writing.
I don't know, but I've heard good things, like, about the book itself. Like, so.
And then I heard that it's not only the subject matter, it's that it's an actually really good book.
You have to tell me, like, you have to read it. Yes. And you have to tell me. Because I really want to know. Like, I'd be wanting to read it, but I don't know. Like, I kind of...
Yeah.
You know?
I see what you mean. You need someone trustworthy to tell you. Okay, the next one is Perfect for Record. And to be honest, I think I'm gonna go for it because I'm almost halfway through.
Oh, okay. Oh.
And
it's a chunky one.
It is a chunky boy.
You're already halfway through, right?
Yeah. It is, to be fair, it is easier to read because it's an oral history, so it's like dialogue.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, there are some people that are easier to remember. First of all, this is Meet Me in the Bathroom, Rebirth, and Rock and Roll in the New York City. Oh, I thought it said New York City scene, but no, it's just New York City, 2001, 2011. It's by Lizzie Goodman, and it's basically what it says on the tin, a lot of interviews sort of telling the story of the indie revival of New York as a scene. And it's so interesting, especially being a fan of music writing and having read so much of, you know, the 50s, the 60s, the 80s, even the 90s. Like, there is a level of privilege and self-consciousness in the New York city scene of the early 2000s that is like unprecedented. But there were a lot of fun, interesting stuff going on as well. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. The curation of the interviews is really, really cool. What I was going to say is that sometimes it takes longer because unless it's someone like super famous, I don't know, the people from The Strokes or LCD Sound System, you know, like sometimes like there are people who you forget who they are and you have to go back and see like, oh.
I've read oral histories, and it's they're really hard for me to read because I want to know who these people are, and I have to like remember all the time. Then
I have 3, out of which at least I need to read 1 because I need to review them for the bookshop I work at. The one problem is that I started reading this first one and I don't like it. So, but it works for another project that we're doing. However, I'll just show it to you. It's called A Short History of Queer Women.
Oh, yes.
I know,
Yes,
by Kirsty Loehr. And it's trying so hard to be funny. It is what it says on the tin, by the way. It literally has like made up conversations and jokes, like written out jokes, so cringy. And I kind of want to keep reading it because I want like the information, but I shit you not. Every time I think of picking up this book, something in me goes like, do I really want to read this right now?
I'm guessing there must be some other book that kind of touches on the subject, so that you can get the information somewhere else.
Should I just DNF this?
I think so. I've become a big DNFer, you know. I'm just like,
I feel like I needed permission because I feel like so bad saying like, oh, DNFing a book about queer women. It sucks, but the book is not
but
good.
if you're not enjoying it, like, might as well read the Wikipedia page or something, like, I don't know.
Yeah, and to make matters worse, one of the books that I really do want to read is Bad Case, Homosexual History. I did read the introduction of this, and I thought it was brilliant. I really, really enjoy the podcast. And what I like about this book is that although all the chapters are supposed to be like an episode of the podcast, and actually for the event that they did at Foyles, that's what they did. They just read one. But the ordering and selection of the characters, plus the introduction and the epilogue, are supposed to sort of analyze the idea of the homosexual and its political implications and how it is useful or useless now, you know?
Very interesting.
So,
very interesting.
It is very interesting. I don't know if it would work for any prompts, probably maybe secret.
I'm guessing a record of a historical
That's also
record.
good, yeah.
So we have options.
We have options. And then I also have The Theory of Everything Else, A Voyage into the World of the Weird by Dan Schriber. This book is also a 2022 release, which is why I would like to review it, and I think I might love it. It looks very interesting. It is very episodic, so those books can be hit or miss.
What is it about anyway?
So so I'll just read you some of the index, right? The contents page, actually. Yeah. The importance of being a little bit batshit. The weirdo who saved the world, the theory of the unprovable, the theory of mad scientists, the theory of ancient Chinese medicine, the theory of the devil in music, theory of destiny, the theory of impossibilities, the theory of the Titanic. So a lot of like different weird tidbits, but I hope it amounts to something interesting.
Yeah, it could be like
it sounds
something, like, I don't know, like a little peel
that I read
of something, you know, if you wanna read something short, I guess.
It has pictures too. Then I also have Empire of Pain, which I've read like 200 pages of this, but I was enjoying it so much, and it's been so long because I read it digitally and then I got an actual copy, and instead of like trying to parse where I was like, screw it, it's so good, I want to read it again, so I'm starting it from the beginning.
Maybe we can read it together. I really want to read that book.
Well, this is the secret history of the Sackler dynasty, so...
Yeah, I really want to read that one.
It is really good. It's as good as everyone says.
Okay.
The other big book that maybe I should start, but not like attach it to any challenge, because if I do like, I don't know, like Empire of Pain plus another one of the hardcovers and Meet Me in the Bathroom, I like definitely wouldn't finish it, but I really just want to fucking start it at the very least.
Oh my god.
Red Comet.
Okay, yes.
The Short Life
and
Blazing Art of Sylvia Plath. Here's the thing. I bought the hardcover, convinced that I was going to read it right away. And ever since then, the paperback has been released. I would like to read it this year to make the whole thing less egregious.
Yeah, I'd like to read it too, and I have it. I have the Kindle version, so maybe we can read it together too if you want. Like,
oh, that's nice. Yeah, we could do like shorter bits and decide. So if we read it over 2 months, I think then we
It's
can
a
start
tanker
stuff.
though. Did you start reading it or have you like gotten?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Okay, let's see.
I really, really want to read it though. So good. Okay, now on to some smaller things. I'll show you my other perfect thing for the border prompt. It's just, it's so perfect. But at the same time, again, it really depends on what other stuff I pick up, because I do want a good balance between something a little denser. I definitely want something a little bit denser. I mean, everybody and a field guide to getting lost are already like theory-ish, so we'll see. But also I want like some more composibly readable stuff, which, you know, Empire of Pain is that. The Power of Geography by T. Marshall.
Yeah. Yes.
10 maps that reveal the future of the world. I am really tempted to read this, because also I feel like if I don't read it soon, it's going to stop being relevant. So maybe that is a good argument.
Yeah, I think it's perfect. I want to read Prisoners of Geography for that prompt.
It's so good.
So yeah, I think it works, and it's very interesting.
Then I have a book that you know well, and you recommended to me. Ace, What Asexuality Reveals About Desire, Society, and the Meaning of Sex by Angela Chen. This, again, is what it says on the tin. What did you think of it? Because you read it.
I really liked it. It's about a subject that I didn't really know a lot about, and what I liked the most about it is that it felt like a journalistic investigation, because the author is Ace, but she also is not talking about herself all the time, and she actually doesn't really talk a lot about herself, and she kind of covers a lot of different kind of the spectrum of you know, the Ace community, and I really liked it. It made me think a lot, and it was better than I expected it to be. So I think that's why I'm like, yes.
Then I have The Street of Wonderful Possibilities, Whistler, Wild, and Sargent in Tite Street by Devon Cox. This is the opposite, like exactly my element. Something really cute, The Love That Dares, Letters of LGBTQ plus Love and Friendship Through History. Edited by Rachel Smith and Barbara Vesey or Vesey. And it is, again, what it says on the tin in this beautiful edition. I think I only literally read the introduction of this, so I need to read the actual book.
Sounds
letters.
Cute and sounds very informative too.
Then I have the Science and Nature Writing book, the 2021 edition, edited by Ed Yong. And I do want to read this. I am definitely going to devote my time to reading this. I think I might pass for Nonfiction November. It's just because it has a lot about the pandemic, obviously. Not exclusively, but obviously. So I maybe don't want to be on a time crunch for this one. You know what I mean?
But maybe you can read like some of them, start it, or something like that. And also it would work for like the element prompt.
That is true. This is very true. And I am going to buy the 2022, of course. So it's good to feel like I've read the previous one instead of like buying more. I also have this one called What is Life by Paul Nurse, and he is a Nobel Prize winner. And basically he analyzes what life is from a point of view of evolution, chemistry, information, changing the world, the genes. So it's just like a biological but also ethical and sort of philosophical consideration of what is life, basically.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah. Yeah, and even though the concept is like so big, I feel like it's like you can handle it more easily than the other science one.
I have more.
I like it.
Options. We need options. I have a collection of essays, Death by Landscape by Elvia Wilk. And this is actually translated from German. She is an author of an ecological novel that I really want to read called Oval.
Okay.
And it's interesting because just on the same week that I bought this, I had been like eyeing Oval, and then I realized it was the same person. And basically, it's literary essays, but also very much related to sort of the erotics and the symbolism of landscape and nature, both what we idealize, but also, you know, what is rotten and like dying. And so it's just like very artistic and literary. And it's been a while since I read like this sort of essay. Well, I say a while, I was in the master's, but it feels like a lifetime ago.
Yes.
Really excited for
Yeah.
that one.
And also, oh my god, you're right.
I'm not even going to film this, but I am literally, quite literally,
Books down.
beginning to drown in books. Okay.
Yeah.
Crisis averted.
What I wanted
Please
to say-
continue. What were you going to
what I
say?
was gonna say is that I'm all for translated literature in general, but like translated not fiction especially, because we don't really get to read that much of that one.
I know, right?
So,
And
yeah.
it's such an important perspective that we're missing out.
I know. So that sounds very interesting.
I have this really tiny book called Losers by Josh Cohen.
Okay.
And it's basically one essay about like this idea of like loser as something bad and like why we hate losing so much. Whereas like he thinks that getting comfortable with the idea of losing because it requires humility would actually benefit us all.
You know, it sounds very interesting. I would really actually want to read that one.
It sounds very interesting. And I read a few bits here and there, and it looks like it's really well written. So just like this other one, which is What I Stand On is What I What I Stand For is What I Stand On by Wendell Berry. A very short selection of his essays. I really like Wendell Berry, even if I don't necessarily always agree with his ideas. I do find his sort of outlook is actually quite temperate. He wrote the Why I'm Not Buying a Computer essay.
Oh, I remember.
Which was very controversial.
Yes.
And the edition in the Penguin Modern Classics essay publishes a few responses. So yeah, that's really cool. And yeah, I might read this. It's part of the Penguin, you know, Green Ideas.
Yeah, also pretty short and interesting overall. So yeah.
Pretty sure. Yeah, I would like to have like at least like one tiny book there.
Yeah.
Just to like sort of make me feel like I'm finishing something.
In my mind, I'm like, okay, but what prompt can that be on? Like,
You are correct. I have 7 Days in the Art World by Sarah Thornton. Yeah, that's her name. And this is what it says on the tin. Basically is her going into this art world. I don't know like what her background was, but I, as someone who really likes art and admires most museums, however, understands like the practices are super shady, and I am both outraged but also like sickly fascinated by, you know, it's just the way it is, isn't it? By the art world and like the money that it moves and the idea of like the forgery and the prestige and trends. It's just fascinating and awful. So I am actually really looking forward to this one.
yeah, that sounds interesting. I'm not saying interesting with all of the books, but they are.
Well,
all
I read interesting books.
What can I say?
2 collection of essays. One is The River of Consciousness by Oliver Sacks. And I think these are more eclectic than, you know, like The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat and that sort of thing that focuses on neurological conditions. And the other one is Frontlines by Juliet Jacques. And this is a collection of her trans journalism, basically. So Juliet Jacques rose to prominence by writing a column in The Guardian. She chronicled there her transition, but also she wrote a memoir called Trans, a Memoir, which I haven't read yet, but apparently really defies the idea of the trans memoir. And so this is her latest project, and this is her element. She's ultimately a journalist. It sounds really interesting. Then I have one that you've read, right? In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado. This is not my copy. This was lent to me by a friend. So it also has the advantage of I could finally give it back to her.
Yeah.
If I read it now.
Things that I have to say about that book. First of all, it's really good. I really liked it. It's a fast read, and I think you would benefit from like reading it in like one seat or like 2 seats. You know, it's that kind of book. You know, you don't have to like read it for a long time. Okay. It's hard on the subject, and it's hard on, of course, what it touches upon. But that's
what I've heard.
But it's a faster read. You know, that than other of the books that you told me. And also it's fascinating. I really liked it.
And then finally, I have 2 books on sort of the body or medicine. One is The Body by Volverse, which I have started reading and I'm really enjoying it. I just sort of put it down and never picked it back up. And then same thing with Paul Craddock's Parts, An Unexpected History of Transplant Surgery. Both are like really readable. I'm really enjoying them. I would read either of these.
Wait, have you started it?
Yeah, both I've started. And literally this one I started because I finished the book that I brought to a trip. And then on the way back, I just needed to start something else. So I started this one that I got on the trip. Both really exciting picks. And that is all that I have for you today. Believe me, this was a very, very pared down list of all the books that I considered and juggled. But yeah, I'm comfortable with these choices.
There are a lot of books. How do you want to do this? Do you think maybe we can like try to tackle the prompts first?
Yes, I think
like
we
prom
should.
by prom.
Yes.
Right?
So I think we should definitely finalize. Are we reading Empire of Pain? Do you want to read it? Do you want to buddy read this in November?
I do want to buddy read it. Yes, I do want to buddy read it.
This could be our secret prom.
Oh yeah, of course, because it said it's a secret history. Yes. Yeah, for sure. Then we got record, border, and element.
Yes. Do you think I should finish Meet Me in the Bathroom?
Do we have anything that is kind of a record?
Well, Bad Gaze
like
could be a possibility.
Oh yeah, like the record of the historical record.
What other things like we have for records?
Oh, something like the journalism of some.
Oh yeah, the journalism there.
Yeah.
Maybe also even like the Ace book, because it's like recording these lives.
Yeah, the experiences
and
of
also like setting the record straight, maybe even.
Oh yeah. Huh. I would love for you to read the Ace one, but I think it's better for you to finish the music one. And maybe we can have like possibly another one, because since you're finishing that one, and you said it was gonna be like faster.
Yeah, I mean it is. Yeah, I really do want to finish it. Okay, perfect. I have 2 pretty fast reads, so they are chunky, but they are fast, not that dense, which is good. Should we have this one for Borders then?
I think that's perfect for Borders. Like I should say. Yeah.
And it's kind of cute
what?
That you are reading the first one. And
yeah, upon your recommendation too.
Yeah, I swear by that book, and I'm really I want to reread that one as well. And so for Element, I feel like we have so many choices.
Yeah, I think maybe for Element you should read like the science one. I don't know if there's like a hard one, because I know most of these are kind of pretty fast reads or like easier reads.
I would really very much love to read What is Life, I think, more than this one. I feel like I really want to take my time with this one. Yeah, I feel like this I need more time to like dip in and out of. Whereas this is very short, but it feels like it's going to be like quite theoretical and interesting and stimulating. This is a pretty hefty TBR, so I think I probably should not add more to it, actually. I'll show you.
Oh my god. I like it because you have like 2 chunky ones, and all of the other ones are kind of more doable.
Yes, 100%. However, I do think I'm going to leave out the Jenette McCurdy.
Yes.
The Ace one.
Yay.
And definitely if I finish the 2 like chunky ones early on, I'm definitely going to try and start Red Comet, because I really want to start it. I feel like I need that kick in the butt, you know what I mean?
Yes, 100%.
I am very excited. Thank you so much, because when I was like pulling books out, I was so like unhinged. I was like, okay, I want to read this, but I also want to read that.
Happy. Like, I really want to know what you think of all of the books that we picked together.
So well balanced, and I can't believe that we arrived at this result together. I can't believe it, but it's like magic. That's it. Just another reminder, all my socials are down below. I'll also link to your bookstagram.
Yes.
At the Anakel.
At the Anakel, it's my bookstagram. I don't post that much anymore, but I'm always there. Like I like hanging out in there. Yeah.
Would you like me to link to your storygraph also?
Oh yes, that's very good idea. I love having people. I love lurking at people's storygraphs.
Yeah.
So yeah, and also having friends there. So yes.
We will record a similar style episode for our podcast, Book Crumbles, and also if you speak or understand Spanish and want to get some weird practice in, go listen to Pluma Pantalla.
Yes.
Which is always linked down below. And that's all.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Bye.
And I browsed page.
Sorry. Okay, we're good. I think we are. Yes, we are.
Nice. That's straight to the bloopers. By the way, thanks. Did I say that? Thanks.
Of course, in time.